Greetings everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the community show that gives you exactly what you've been asking for. Half-Life community news. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's get into it.
LambdaGeneration.
Raising the bar Redux is obviously still being worked on right now, and they're very serious about getting the beta look and feel just right. That dedication is further shown in their latest news post on their ModDB page, which is basically an interview with a former Valve modeler. Travis Brady worked at Valve from 1999 to 2002 and worked on Half-Life 2 while it was still in beta. Brady also worked on Team Fortress 2 while it was still in its Human vs. Aliens development phase. In the interview that the RTB team conducted with Brady, they got to know a lot about certain beta versions of characters we all know and love. I mean, we all love Dog, right? Well, this interview touches upon how Dog was thought up and conceptualized. The interview also goes over how T-Bod, a concept robot that appeared in the beta, was one of the prototypes of what eventually became Dog. There is some really interesting stuff here. The article also mentions that the RTB team is in contact with some other ex-Valve employees that worked on the Half-Life 2 beta to really sharpen their mod. Now that's some dedication. Maybe in the future we could expect another interview like this. There is a lot more to this interview that I recommend you to go and read. A link to it is in the description below. I would also like to stress that Travis Brady is a very busy man and that flooding him with emails is not a good idea, so please don't bombard him with your questions. Be civil, patient, and kind. In some non-Half-Life related news, Valve has shown some considerable interest in the concept of brain interfacing. And if that wasn't super clear yet, then I guess it is now, because Valve recently attended the Neurotech gaming conference that was being held over several live streams. In the day one livestream of this event, Valve's experimental psychologist Mike Ambinder talked about how we could be playing games in the future with the help of brain interfacing technology and what kind of information Valve could obtain from the player to help improving the gaming experience in the future. It all sounds kinda scary to me with all this brain stuff. Do we really want to have gaming companies digging into our brains? If you think this is cool stuff, then I don't blame you, but I just want to play my video games without my brain being red. Thank you. Anyway, if you'd like to see this livestream for yourself, I linked it for you in the description below. Go check it out. Inhuman, a mod that aims to bring you an original new story in the Half-Life 2 universe and other improved features, shared a brand new media update only a few days ago that talks about some new gameplay and visual changes that were implemented since Half-Life Alyx was released. All of the updates here talk about the Combine soldiers, who receive new models, weapons, and even some new behavior to make them a little bit more fun and interesting to fight. The new models themselves are heavily inspired, if not ported directly from Half-Life Alyx. Furthermore, this article talks a lot about the AI of the Combine soldiers and how that has been changed and in most ways even improved from the original AI seen in Half-Life 2. A lot of the inspiration for these new changes to the AI came from the Fear series and how the replicas behave in that game. A new dynamic crosshair has also been added to better reflect weapon spread and much more. I invite you to go and take a look at the new media update that has been posted up on ModDB. It's linked in the description. A small gameplay chunk is also available for you to watch so you can see the new Combine AI in action there. It's a base for a map. It's Mapbase. It wouldn't be an episode of All Things Lambda if we didn't talk about Mapbase and its brand new update. If you still don't know what Mapbase is, then allow me to explain. Mapbase is a mod for Source 2013 that adds new entities and quality of life improvements to the engine, like VScript and other neat new toys for mappers to play with. In this latest update, which is dubbed Mapbase 4.3, a whole bunch of VScript stuff has been fixed and updated. Some of Tony Sergey's Source 2007 fixes have been added, Mapbase shouldn't crash anymore when Steam isn't running, and NPCs are now able to holster their weapons again. This update of Mapbase also includes changes to the gameinfo.txt file, so mods that directly use Mapbase source mod folder should update their gameinfo.txt file so that it matches the new version. This is also noted in the article. I advise you to read through it. That and many more fixes can be found out about in the new article up on the ModDB page for Mapbase. It's linked down below. Tristan Reedford, an artist at Valve, recently shared some pretty cool looking concept art on his Twitter account showing some neat renditions of City 17, everybody's favorite dystopian European metropolis. This isn't 100% what Europe looks like, I swear. The first piece of concept art linked to this tweet seems to be a favorite amongst the community, and that's for a good reason. It shows a train yard in super high detail and it looks absolutely amazing. You could sell this as a print, and I would probably put it up on a wall somewhere. The second piece over here shows this giant combine vehicle that's dragging some cables around. I really love the contrast between the light, normal European buildings and the darker combine equipment mixed in with it. If you want to see these pieces of artwork for yourself, then go ahead and find the link in the description below. You won't regret it. Last but not least, we got ourselves a classic Half-Life 2 machinima. I remember watching the Gmod Idiot box when I was younger. I really loved the old Gmod animations and I hope they'll make a comeback at some point. This machinima is a little bit different though, it's more serious. Communications by UnhealthyGrapejuice is about a rebel that's stationed at the buildings right before the bridge section in Half-Life 2. Everything goes well until the Combine shows up and, well, they want to have a little word with him. Now, there are a few things here and there that I think could have been handled a bit better, but this has all been made in-game, probably in Gary's mod, so stuff like animation is already more limited than what you would be able to do in Source Filmmaker. Anyhow, it's a great callback to a simpler time. I almost got a little nostalgic when I was watching this. A link to this machinima can be found in the description below. Be sure to check it out. Also, be sure to check out our social media pages. Yeah, I decided to cut the bullshit this time. We have a Twitter account and even a Facebook, which you should follow. Oh, and we have a Discord, which you can join to talk about more Half-Life stuff. It's all down there. I got my own YouTube channel too. It's called Glorious Rigby, and it's filled with good content that you might like. That, together with my Twitter, is linked down below in the description as well. Please go check it out. And with that, I'm going to end episode 102 of All Things Lambda. Don't be upset though, because we'll be back next week with a brand new episode. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon so you'll never miss another episode of All Things Lambda. Salutations, and take care.